Welcome everybody to Nexus at Night, your weekly Vanguard podcast. I thought Root Beer, you were out of the room for a second and that you just left Stuffy behind, which would have been interesting. I'm Atlas.
I'm Matt.
I'm Root Beer.
That was just perfectly timed. Fellas, it's been a couple weeks. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm not doing
Pretty
too
good.
bad.
It is officially spring break.
Nice.
Yeah, same.
Nice.
I have
Do you get a week or 2 weeks?
A week.
A week.
Imagine having holidays.
I don't need to imagine.
Yeah. Yeah, just get into teaching, which is like a Faustian bargain in and of itself.
So true.
You get summers off, but it costs you your sanity.
Actually,
Yeah, so I know it's been a couple weeks. Last week we didn't have much to say and we were all busy, so that's cool.
You were busy. I was just lazy.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, but like I also had to it's been a couple weeks for even Generation Dan because my co-host is having family trouble. He's like, I'm not feeling up to it. I'm like,
understand.
I get it.
It'd be like that.
Mm-hmm.
Hope things go well.
I hope so too. I think he's been pretty strong through it all, but it's not easy for the guy. So Dino, if you're listening, shout out. The week after, when we come back from spring break, we with my creative writing kids, I am doing a D&D one shot with them.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been planning that for the last 2.5 weeks or so. So I will see what kind of shit show it ends up being, and I will talk about it during the yap portion when it's done. But yeah, part of the problem is that because a half to a third to half of the kids in any given creative writing class are just I didn't pick an elective, so my counselor put me here, and I'm going to make it living hell for everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how those kind of people go. Because usually when you play D&D with someone, they're like, yeah, I'll give it a try. Or yeah, I like D&D. And not, I'm being forced to be here. So I got to make a stipulation about no murder hobos.
Fun.
Yeah. Did you guys ever play D&D?
A little bit.
I have, but I'm not terribly interested in doing it again.
How come?
I don't know. I just don't want to.
Okay.
The best reason ever.
Yep. Real great topic of conversation. Yeah, just not feeling it. Now, I've only played in a campaign once. I've never DM'd, which is going to make this even weirder because Mr. Novak is the DM. But the time I did it, it was with a bunch of comedians. And the reason we stopped was one of the comedians ran out of money and had to move home. He left LA. Which is yeah, then the spirit's gone. His character he was a bard with a horse-drawn carriage that had a piano on the back. And he was just the heart and soul of that whole campaign. And then after he leaves, we're like, it's just not the same without him.
Understandable.
So we stopped. And then now I gotta do this. But because it's so, there are kids who are clearly not paying attention, I had to boil down a lot of D&D and take off a lot of the rough edges. And even then it was pulling teeth to get their character sheets done. So probably what I'm going to end up doing is having a bunch of here's some mock-ups I did, pick one, or I'll sign one to you. But it's it's a creative writing class. That's the thing. You're supposed to do the thing. Oh well. I'm still waiting on pieces for my GV decks.
Mm-hmm.
but I'm excited to play them. I have most of Tachikaze done, about half of Great Nature, and then I just ordered the stuff for Silverthorn because I realized you can run Venus in the ride deck, and you only need the one copy, and then just you're good the rest of the way.
Nice.
Yeah. I put Reverse in the main deck, and then the like G-Era Lutier reprint that works as a rear guard, and then just call that every turn for beat sticking, and then you're a 13k base the rest of the time. So should be fun. I was talking to a friend of mine who's also doing GV with me, and he found this. There was a card from like GBT 08 or something. That works with Infinite Zero. That's like perfect for the format. Let me see if I can find it. Because it was like a rare in GBT 08 that we clearly didn't pay any mind to.
Right.
Oh yeah, they just kind of release those cards where it's like, here's support for a deck nobody plays that doesn't do anything to the meta. Next.
Yeah. And it was for a break ride. And it's like, okay, why?
Remember those
late into G-Era? Yeah.
You remember that time they released a bunch of like break rides that were designed to fix like these ancient cards from like the very beginning of the game?
Vaguely. I'm trying to remember what it is you're talking about in particular, but
yeah, because they released like Blue Storm Dragon Maelstrom, but this time it's a break ride instead of the original. So it's like if you break ride on top of it, I think it gives you a Tom skill, so you have the glory skill stopping grade 1s or greater, and then the break ride effect would stop you from calling perfect guards, or
That's
like or stop you from calling zeros. And then you had things like Phantom Blaster Dragon break ride.
that
That
one
was
I
like-
remember more.
Yeah, so they just randomly released these cards that were designed to like fix the original.
Right. Yeah. That's pretty funny. Where did the window go? There.
So yeah, like the Phantom Blaster break ride is like, okay, so when your Shadow Paladin attacks, you can like retire 3 rear guards to like draw 2 and then countercharge 3.
That one I remember. Okay, so this is the card. So Starvader Infinite looks Distarve. On Vanguard, Limit Break 4, when it hits a Vanguard, choose an Infinite Zero. On rear, bind it face up, and then write it. And then if you wrote a card, lock a front row and a back row. And then from rear guard, you can counterblast 2 and discard it. And then when he hits, if you have Infinite Zero on Van, you bind it and then write this. So like on hit skills are a lot better in GV because the hand size is just smaller and there's no G guards. So, like, this kind of thing has legs there.
That's so funny. So funny.
So Adrian says he's picking this up because he's picking up Infinite Zero because he has the Blaster Joker deck from the Legion era. So he's like, I'm gonna pick up the Infinite Zero. He's like, I'm gonna run this in it, which is so cool.
Jeez, that's so funny.
Yeah, I love it
That's
so
great.
much. Yeah.
Look,
This is like
you could just finding gold now, finding gold in the commons.
Yeah, it's like a rare that from a set nobody cares. Or like, I think GBTO had stuff in it, but like
GBTO8 was meta warping.
That's right. It was GBTO 9. That was the one that didn't have any shit in it. That was the one with like Drag Driver Luard and the first wave of charge stuff.
Mhm.
But yeah, so I'm curious to see more. I tried to see if I could get Brave to work, but too many of the effects are GB, so that sucks. But it would be good just because your hand size is just kind of that small anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well, maybe in the future if like. Actually, no. What am I talking about? It's a format frozen in amber. Never mind. It's just not going to be a thing. So, fuck it. Silverthorn seems like it'd be a good one. Blau, I think, has a lot of legs.
Mm-hmm.
Really, any Nova Grappler deck has a good chance, I think. Oh, and then tomorrow I'm doing Passover with my family. Last year, my dad came, and then it was like Katie, me, my dad, and then Katie's co-teacher and her mom. And then this year it's like all of Katie's family who are Catholic, which is interesting to say the least. Because now we gotta like, okay, so you know the first part of the Bible that you don't read, we're that part. That's what tonight's about. And I think my dad likes it because it kind of, well, one, he doesn't. We weren't really good Jews. We just kind of, our way through Hanukkah and Passover, and that was it. And I think this gives him a chance to shine again. And I really enjoyed myself last time, so I'm excited for it.
Nice.
That's good.
Yeah. What's a happen with you?
I don't know, like laughing at stupid internet drama.
Like?
I can't believe I'm living in a world where Billy Mitchell has done something correctly.
Billy Mitchell.
Are you aware of this one, Matt?
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Oh, this fucker. Yeah.
Yeah.
What did he do that was correct?
Okay, so there's a YouTuber named Carl Jobs who does like speed running videos. So
Okay.
at some point he started doing videos about Billy Mitchell, and like among many things calling him a cheater, which he is infamously litigious about, but also like one of the things that came up is Billy Mitchell had previously sued another YouTuber named Apollo Legend who had committed suicide. And so, in that video, Carl kind of implies that, the lawsuit with Billy Mitchell was like a factor in the suicide, which is, as far as can be proven, objectively not true. So, like, one of the things was like after the lawsuit, they settled, and Apollo had to like delete all the videos about Billy Mitchell and not talk about him ever again. And so there was no like monetary factor to the settlement.
Right.
And so, that was part of it. And he kind of implied that like the fallout of the lawsuit was contributing to the suicides. Like, okay, but like he never like paid me anything, and he was never listed as like a factor in the final video. Like mostly just his health, and he was also in the midst of being called out for being a Nazi. Gamers.
Gamers. Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah. So, that
2014. No.
So that was that. And it's like, okay, so Billy Mitchell sued Carl Jobs like a bunch of times, partially for the cheating and partially for, like insinuating that he contributed to a suicide, which is, again, as far as can be proven, not true.
Okay.
And so, like, all of the cheating ones got dismissed because, of course, they did. But the one where, about the suicide was, like, not dismissed and actually, like, went to court.
Trial, yeah.
Yeah, went to trial. And so Billy Mitchell won that one because he could objectively prove that Carl Jobs was defaming him for it.
Okay.
Like, he obviously, had the details of the settlement where it was shown, like, okay, well, he didn't pay me anything, so there was no, like, financial burden that would have contributed to the suicide, like, alleged.
Right.
But also, he had made several attempts through, like, other people, including, like, Keemstar, to try and reach out to Carl Jobs. And we're living in a world where Keemstar is doing something correct.
This is such a mind fuck. What's the...
Yeah,
Jesus.
But, like, basically, Billy Mitchell sent, like, Keemstar, he sent, like, his lawyers to tell him, like, hey, Apollo Legend never paid me anything, like, delete that part of the video, that's just false.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And he was, I think, I'm not entirely clear on the saga, because Carl Jobs has made, like, 50 million videos about Billy Mitchell. It's actually kind of annoying. But, like, basically, like, he alleged it, then he deleted it, and then he kind of posted it again, and then he deleted it again, and kind of tacked on, like, oh, by the way, this wasn't true at the end of, like, a different unrelated video.
Of course.
So the judge
just
kind
try
of...
to slip it in there, yeah.
Yeah. Also important to note, Carl Jobs is Australian, so the standards for defamation are probably different from us in the US.
Understandable.
You know, the judge basically concluded that like he didn't really go through any kind of meaningful effort to try and correct the issue, and like the other factor is that Billy Mitchell could prove that the defaming statement did cost him work. Like he had event organizers coming in, they're like, yes, specifically the allegation where you were like insinuating that he caused the suicide is why we didn't invite him to our convention. And one of those people was Carl's witnesses too, so it's like, no, you're like really fucked there.
Did you see that he made a post about how he ran it through AI and the AI said there was no way he would lose? That shit's crazy.
It's so funny. You know.
But also, Carl was going off the deep end years ago. So
yeah. You know, that's the other thing is like, I don't pay that close attention to this shit, but you know, it turns out that Carl is also at least formerly a Nazi. Like he was friends with a lot of Nazis and defended the use of slurs at least a little bit, and only tried distancing himself once his channel became mainstream enough.
Oh my god. Which means it's still bubbling underneath the surface. That's fun.
Yeah. You know, so Carl the last couple of weeks. So yeah, that's like absolutely the stupid internet drama that just like lives rent free in my head right now because it's just really funny.
Oh my god. Well, if it makes you feel any better, I've had Non-Stop from Hamilton stuck in my head.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Which means that, like, for people who follow me on TikTok for teacher sketches at Atlas Novak, it's been like a bunch of Hamilton things in a row because I'm like, get this fucking song out of my head.
Never happening.
I remember when it was like new and stuff too when we were in college. And just that's the beauty of the Sun Through musical, like you were saying, Matt. Like, just listen to it. You get the whole thing.
Yep.
Shit. And it was all because I made, but like I was talking to my ninth graders about like research questions that have depth to them, and I'm like, typically you want to do like how or why questions because the other ones can usually be answered in a sentence, right? So like, what was I doing last night? I was at my house. Like, that's easy to figure out. And then, how does a bastard orphan, son of a whore and a Scotsman? That takes an entire musical to answer. Mm-hmm. And then somebody from the corner of the room goes, Non-Stop is the best one. And I'm like, well, it's stuck in my head for the rest of the week. Thanks, student.
My goal is to never have to hear Lin-Manuel Miranda ever again.
Understandable. Yeah. Which is like, but unfortunately,
I've heard enough.
Understandable. Yeah, I don't think I haven't seen In the Heights, even though I should have. But yeah, Moana was okay, and if I hear that I Always Wanted a Brother song again, I'm gonna murder someone. Nexus at Night, the murder podcast.
What?
Yeah.
I hope it's been a long time since I've used that.
I hope not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we can talk about Summerfest drama while we're here.
Oh, for fuck's sake, yeah.
I mean, I'll just say it. I don't know what the fuck anyone else was expecting. Like, we already knew from the start that it was going to be, like, that it was going to have Lyrical Cup. The fact that they seem to have just thrown names at a dartboard to decide which location is getting Lyrical is like, I don't think that changes anything. We knew this was happening from the start. If they were going to change their plans, it would have been the first time everyone was crashing out about it. But, like, you know, like, whenever we get mad enough at Bushiroad, they do eventually fix their shit. So hopefully we yell at Bushiroad enough over it.
I was talking to Richard about this the other day, and he's like, I hate how easy Bushiroad is to bully. I'm like, are you kidding me? That's a good thing. It means that if you want to change something, you just yell at them hard enough about it, and then they do the thing. They bend the knee.
Yeah.
You know, that can be abused, obviously, but
yeah. But also, I feel like at the end of the day, they're still going to like listen to suggestions that make some sort of business sense.
Yes, and Lyrical Cup is not one of them.
No. like I don't understand the need for Lyrical Cup. Like they're not even making a lyrical booster. Like what is this even accomplishing?
I think they're hoping they just get enough horny people.
Yeah, but like lyrical format fucking sucks. There's like 2 decks that can be played.
Yes.
You know,
and neither of them are Medial, which you gave me, and yeah, so not doing it.
Yeah, I mean, you guys aren't getting Lyrical Cup for Long Beach. I'm pretty sure that one actually is premium, but like,
yeah, but like Philadelphia isn't getting premium. Philadelphia has a pretty big premium community, which is like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Like
stupid. Names on the dartboard.
Of course, yeah.
You know, which like, I think should have just expected that. You know, disappointment is immeasurable. My day is ruined. But like, I don't know. Like, we'll see what happens come like the BCS circuit. You know, like I feel bad for the premium players because this does suck. But like, I don't imagine them changing it last minute.
Yeah, and I know for a lot of
like
for the premium players, there just aren't a lot of tournaments. It's really sad.
Yeah, because like Japan isn't interested in it, and if Japan's not interested in it, they don't give a shit enough about us to give us like English exclusive premium products.
Yeah, and also if they're gonna do a nuclear ban list, ride the wave, man. We're all excited about it. Like,
yeah. Well, that's the thing is that this was planned long before that decision was made for the ban list.
Oh, sure.
One of those just like. And that's the thing is like they very well could just change it. Like I think they have different pricing between like lyrical and premium, but it's like who cares? Just give the lyrical prices out for premium.
Sure, why not?
Like
we're doing this for the love of the game. I don't. Nobody's like doing Vanguard where they're like, yeah, I'm gonna make a living. No.
So I'm not gonna lie. I haven't been paying attention. It's basically the drama that like they're running lyrical events instead of premium.
Yes.
I see. Right after they made a premium ban list.
Yeah.
Yes.
Most intelligent company.
Huge balls.
Well, that's the thing is like they had already announced that they were going to be doing lyrical events instead of premium before the ban list came out. This is just one of those like great timing.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Well, what a lot of people were afraid of was they announced like, okay, ban list changes and I take showers. You guys think so? I think, and a lot of us were thinking this could be the end, right? Because if they announce Lyrical Cup and then the ban list changes, premium isn't a thing anymore. Like that's what people were afraid of. But then they did the nuclear ban list, which a lot of people like, us included.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I don't think they're going to get rid of I do feel like people are kind of dooming for no reason. Like, I don't think they're actually going to get rid of premium. It's just one of those, like, I don't know. Like, I get why people are upset. I also feel like everyone is overreacting a little bit, but also yelling at Bushiroad and bullying them is, like, the only way to get them to do anything.
Yes.
Okay, but you can be, like, normal about it also.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like,
don't go crazy.
Yeah.
Don't do the like standing on the table at McDonald's asking for Szechuan sauce. We don't need to do that.
Like people are trying to like sabotage the lyrical event by taking a legal.
Now that
is stupid. Like don't do that. Like just don't
by doing a what?
By like sabotaging the event by bringing like illegal decks.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
I mean,
if you do that, you're an asshole.
Yeah, like don't do that. Just don't go.
Yeah.
Like if they run the lyrical event and like 40 people show up, then I think that sends a pretty clear message that shit's not gonna work.
Yeah, like vote with your feet, right?
Or the same way, show up. Like V died because they ran events that had like 16 people in it. It's like if they run a lyrical event and 10 people show up, they're not gonna do that shit again.
Yeah, like or even better, if you still want to like go because you want to play premium with people and hang out with people. That's most of the reason I like going to the events in the first place. Mm-hmm. For people who saw us at BCS Pasadena, I was incredibly happy to see the people of this community, and just because like I only get to see you people once a year outside of my locals, and it's just nice to see all these people again. So take your premium deck, go to BCS, and just hang out with your friends, and like. You can give them the death stare from across the room if you want to, but
Yeah.
Like if they see all the people have shown up, but they're not participating, yeah, that's going to send a real clear message.
Yeah. Like, I think there are ways to protest this that aren't being an asshole, but
Yes.
hopefully if we just yell at them enough, they'll be like, fine, we'll run premium. Like, we can't change the planned pricing because it was all made in advance already.
Of
So,
course,
like,
yeah.
the locations that were previously... Because that's the thing. Like, I saw someone saying, like, oh, they've already planned this, like, months in advance. They can't change it now. They can. It's just a format change. Like, the pricing gets fucked up, but who cares? Just give out the weird... Just have the pricing be weird and fucked up and be like,
Yeah, or even better, the pricing then becomes this weird like time capsule. Like, remember that time Bushiroad tried to sabotage its only other format.
Yeah. So yeah, there's that.
Yeah. I'll definitely be there. I know it's Memorial Day weekend for LA, so I especially like when I can don't have to go to work on the Monday.
Yeah.
So when it's like a 3-day weekend, or in your case where I just took you to the airport and took the day off. And by that I mean I was sick. Yes, totally sick. Yep, that's exactly what happened. I was shitting and vomiting out of my ass.
I can't believe you would do that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Who would say that
Why would you choose to do that?
Why would I get sick? I have no idea.
Damn, that sushi really wasn't good.
Yep. Bad sushi. So, shall we
set review?
Yes.
Oh God.
There's still,
it's not the way it used to be, Matt. Relax.
Yeah, and I'm still trying to figure out a good way to get this shit under an hour.
Yeah.
We've been yapping for 30 minutes. We have a set review. We're dead.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, I think at this point, I'm not even going to read the... I think I am actually just going to go in order, because it's too much of a pain in the ass to, like, do the thing I did last time. And instead of all taking turns one by one reading the cards, I'm just going to start summarizing.
Yep, I think that's the best way to do it now. And for people who are like, but I liked when they went through the card by card. This is a stream, not a podcast now. Sorry, mate. Change of the time.
Yeah. I'm going to move this over to my other monitor. I never use my tablet as a second monitor.
Okay.
Did I fuck this up? I did fuck it up.
Hell yeah.
Oh, no, that was me. That was from Infinite Zero.
I'll remove that? I can always give him a second. Oh,
there we go.
Hey, sweet.
I put a figure in front of my tablet, and now I have to move the figure.
Now you've done it. You made me move my chair.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So we complained about Bob Sakura.
What's the figure? Show the class.
There.
I can't even tell what that is when everything we're all so tiny now.
Yeah.
Her sword.
Debating whether or not I want to do this regardless cut because IDK if I have the ideally built deck for it.
All right, my bad.
Okay. So yeah, as usual, we're going to do all the high rarity cards. This time, instead of reading everything, because we already read them, except for the last week when we skipped it, I'll read those cards. I'm just going to start summarizing shit so that we don't have to be here for 3 hours.
That's a good point.
All right, so first up, we have Hellfire Dragon, Weirbill Dragon. So this is a card that was in Dear Days 2. It was one of the main character cards. So Temu Vortex Dragon here. So you energy charge 3 at the start of your turn, and then not once per turn, you can energy blast 3 to retire something. If you didn't retire, it gets 5k, or if your opponent's grade 3, 10k. And then at the end of the battle, if you energy blast 6 or more for its act ability, you can counter blast 1, stand it, gets drive -2, then you can soul blast a copy of itself to give it back a drive. This card is fine.
Yep. Honestly, it's better than the original Vortex Dragon.
Mm-hmm.
It's something. It does something. Besides, like Mega Blast, retire the whole field.
I know there's a power restand. Yeah.
I just appreciate that we are getting this in a timely fashion compared to like Favrenil. Because I do think this card is kind of cool. Like, it's a good basis for a deck. In addition to that, we're getting a support card for Weirbill Dragon, Drag Rider Bishara. So So on play, you can reveal Weirbolt Dragon from your ride deck, or if you just have it, Counterblast 1, retire something. If you didn't require, draw a card. Gondiva ass conditions. And then it gets 5k for every energy plus 3 you pay for Weirbolt Dragon.
Sure. So it gets 10k on the big turn.
Yeah. Or 15 if you have enough energy for that shit.
Sure.
Next, we have Dragritter Nilman. So this is a generic card. On play, look at top 7 for a grade 3, put it into your hand, and then if you didn't reveal, countercharge. And then if your opponent's rear guard was retired or bound, it gets 5k.
So all of them are going to look at top 7, look for a grade 3. If they can't get it, they countercharge, and then they all get 5k for some condition.
See, you are assuming every other nation got a generic unit.
Ah, that's hilarious.
Next up, we have One Who Walks from Zero, Blangmire Nexus.
Hey, we got something named after us.
Shout out.
I'm just gonna let that hang.
Or Nexus at Night, I guess. So it is also the original Blangmire, and then if your soul has the original Blangmire, it gets its divine skill, and your front row rear guards get 5k. And then Act, you can bind a Blangmire from your soul face down instead of binding 4 cards. And then it's just the Blangmire skill. Your opponent chooses 2, binds them, gets 5k for every 2 face down cards. The new thing is instead of drawing a card, you can either call something from your face down, bind, or draw.
Interesting.
So yeah. I mean,
it'd be kind of neat if it was like mid battle phase, but I feel like that would be a little too out of pocket for.
Probably.
No.
Yeah.
The Blangmire should not be getting any more attacks with its divine skill.
Good point.
Like, honestly, the 5k to the front row rear guards already matters a lot because it means what was that grade 2? Zamoog, the one that gains a crit. Now that becomes 30k by itself.
Ew. Oh man, like Blangmire was always kind of like waiting in the wings. Like it was meta, and then like when it quit doing that, it was still around. It was just like
Blangmire is just one of those decks where like it will just kind of win the game out of nowhere with the divine skill, and then if the divine skill doesn't work, you probably lose unless your opponent couldn't re-ride.
Yes.
So yeah, this is about as good of an evolution on Blangmire as I think you could get. Like being able to toolbox from your face down bind is interesting, and like gives the deck a new dimension. And like I said, 5k to the front row actually does matter because of Zamoog.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And
all right,
Dredrul got something that just kind of is another.
So it does have the ability to draw a card, and then it's just like a restander. It's basically better Rock Augur Dragon.
Yep.
I will say this one is not grade restricted, unlike Rock Augur Dragon, I believe.
Yeah.
So I think Rock Augur can always restand, but it doesn't get the 10k.
Mm-hmm.
I might be misremembering, but yeah. So this is better Rock Augur.
It is. What's probably going to happen is you just run both because it's like
probably
make it happen.
Yep. And then we have Elaborate Wizard. So this is Blangmire support. On play, look at top 2, soul charge 1, and then at the end of the battle, you counterblast, grab something from your soul, and then bind it face down. So again, this is probably the direction Blangmire needed to go, is just the ability to toolbox better and have better utility and survivability. I don't think the deck needs a higher offensive ceiling. Like there's just a limit on how much you can do with that, with the divine skill existing.
Needs less cannon, more or less glass, more cannon.
Mm-hmm.
We can skip the B hero card, right?
Yeah, we can skip the hero card. It's not very. It's fine.
It rides the other one. Like you play this in the ride deck, and then it rides the other one.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I don't know shit about B heroes. I'm pretty sure this is really stupid and impractical, but they also did reveal a new base order that makes this specifically easier to do.
I have not played against B hero once. Played against Arkite, never played against B hero.
So it restands into the other B hero.
Yes. Like you just re-ride into the other B hero.
And you have to scout it first, right?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, next.
The
The second Mythish, Garzorums. So if it's placed by Vice Ruger during the battle phase, you counterblast one. It can't be chosen by card effects, and then if your opponent, or it can't be chosen by card effects and can attack from the back row. And then if your opponent's Great Ruger, it gets 5k. If you played an order, it gets 15 instead of 5. So if you played the order that gives all of your Mythish 5k, 10 if they were placed by card ability, this is a 35k back row attack. Where the hell are we getting all the counterblast for that?
That's a good question.
Also, if you draw this card, it does absolutely nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible. That's great.
Yeah. Vice Ruger is a deck that makes no sense. It takes like so many resources to do anything. Half of the deck is just the same card over and over again because they haven't released all the Mythish names. And then like the new one we have does not change how the deck works. It just makes the deck even more resource heavy.
And you like kind of need it to be in the right place. Perfect.
Yeah. Like you need to find it with the order and put it into the Moon Gate. Otherwise, if you like draw it, it's just a dead card. Like I guess it's a 15 or a 25k beater. If you play in order.
That's awesome.
Cool. I'll take the Blitz card if you want.
Yep.
All right. So Varnest, I think I gushed about this when it first got revealed, but it's you can recycle your set orders, which this was something that Welstra did not have the ability to do. So if you had to discard the ride deck, if you soul charged it, soul blasted out, put it in damage, healed it, that kind of thing. Being able to put it both on bottom of deck or into soul is kind of a big deal because always looking for soul that we can soul blast for Freiheit. And then it's another way to operate. So when your Welstra with Divine Still attack, soul blast, retire him, and operate something, which is fantastic. I love this.
And like because it's a back row unit, like it's easier to do 5 attacks.
Yes, and it just means that you have to focus more on the soul now. So like, make sure to run like the Dogman and Bulbul Mine and shit like that, just to make sure that like you can kind of fit it all.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. All right, new Youth Berk. So we have
you do that. I'll take care of Magnolia. Yeah.
Like we have Skyfall Arms Rebuild. So it has the Revoldress ability. So same thing. You ride a Revol form, gets drive -2. But now it also has the ability to Revol form from the drop zone by paying Counterblast 1. And then when you ride on top of it during the battle phase, you can discard a card to give it a drive. So you no longer have to run that grade 1 that gives things a drive.
Oh, and then, fucking finally. That thing was such a pain in the ass, I hear.
Yeah. And then when you would ride a grade 3 with a Revol form in his card name, bind that unit that was rode upon instead of putting it into your soul. So the reason why it's binding is so you can't easily abuse the ability to Revol form from the drop zone. And then, of course, they immediately printed a Revol form that takes advantage of the bind zone. So this is Youth Berk Revol form exist. We have Piss Berk now.
Piss Berk?
Yeah, because he's yellow.
Sure, whatever.
Energy Blast 3. So when it's placed by Revoldress, Energy Blast 3, stand a rear guard. All of your front row units get power plus 10,000. Or if you have a Revol form, doesn't have to be itself, any Revol form, 20,000 instead of 10. And then if you have a card with the same card name as this unit, it gets crit plus 1 in the bind zone. And then, at the end, you re-ride your Revoldress card. Every time you read like the next line of text, you wonder to yourself, why does it have this line of text here?
Which part of the line of text?
Like, okay, Energy Blast 3 restand something. Okay, fine. They just printed a Revol form that gives you a 5th attack. Like, we all knew they were going to do that. All of your front row units get plus 10k. Like, no restrictions. Why did they need to print that? Why couldn't it be like, okay, if your opponent's grade 3, like, why not 10k? And then, like, if your bind zone has a Revol form, it's 20k instead of 10. Why does it have that line of text? Oh, and then also, if you bound a copy of itself, it also gets a crit. All of this for Energy Blast 3, by the way. It's just like as you read more and more of the ability, it's like, why does it have this?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
You just yeah.
And the crazy thing is, like, I don't think Youthberg is that good of a deck. I don't think it's going to be like meta warping in any way. It's just like, all right, sometimes your opponent is going to high roll you with this, and it's going to be annoying as hell. You know, like, up, you got crit, and they put you to like 3 damage right away, and they were like going first. So like they go into this, they make like 5 attacks. The numbers are all really big because you're still at grade 2. Like, great. You know? And then, of course, so, you know, there is a world where your opponent just, like, exists you twice, and then you just, like, die turn 4 before really getting to do anything.
I don't know. There's something so funny to me about, like, the subtitle for it being exist.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't fit for some reason.
Yeah, well, because all the... Yeah, and also I hate the name. Like, exist sounds so silly. It doesn't fit the naming scheme, because, like, all
Naming
of the
convention,
yeah. Yeah, because the revolt forms are all like wind themed, right? Like gust, tempest, full blast, and then it's like exist.
You'd think it like in Greek mythology, the winds have names like Zephyr. Like that's a great name for a revolt form or something because we Youthberg mains exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. This card, I do not like this card, even if it turns out that Youthberg as a deck isn't that, like, broken or meta warping. I don't want to deal with it. Probably what you're actually going to do, though, is you're going to go Tempest going first, because Tempest is still a crazy card.
Right.
So you go.
But
like,
I also love the
Tempest.
idea.
Mm-hmm.
I love the idea of playing a deck that you just kind of hate the like way it plays, but you're like, I like playing Youthberg, but I just hate what it's become. You sold out. Or something.
Like, I like Tempest specifically because it's like literally Aura Geyser, but like, yeah, like there are so many things that it could have been, but exist. So yeah, don't like this card. All right, a card that has not been used in the anime yet because the anime had a bunch of breaks in it. The Mythish of Miracles, Rifistor. So this is support for Reziel. On play, counterblast 1, check top 7 for a Reziel. If you didn't get something, countercharge 1. They were going to print the Reziel Searcher eventually. And then, on attack, if you have a Reziel, it gets plus 5,000, drink. And then, if it was placed by the ability of Reziel, and you have 4 or more damage, it gets 10k. And if it's the 5th battle specifically, your opponent cannot call Sentinels. Reziel is just a limit break deck now.
Yep. That.
Why is this one specific?
I don't know.
All right.
Like, what did you guys think of Limit Break as a concept?
Back in I did my Limit Break. I did my Break Rides.
Yeah. Like, Limit Break is fine. It's just
it's kind of silly, but also
yeah.
I don't know. There was some interesting gameplay around it, but Break Rides were kind of silly.
Mm-hmm.
I know you would do stuff like just sit there and stare at them while they were at 3 and be like, okay, yeah, is anyone going to draw the self-damager?
Yeah, the problem is like, so it made you want to play cards like the self-damagers, which were pretty cool, like being able to play stuff like that, but like the Break Rides made it so punishing if like, I don't know, you didn't kill them. So, I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, I think the play pattern now is like, okay, you call this and Gobwelius. Gobwelius does a drive check, you put a bunch of triggers on it, and now you swing in for a big ass fucking number with no Sentinels.
Seems pretty funny to me. This is whatever.
Yeah. Like, Reziel is less tanky now that they got rid of the dog, but also I'm sure we're going to figure out how to replace the dog eventually.
Painkiller, god damn it. Like, it's right there.
Yeah, but Painkiller sucks.
Yes, it does, but like that's what people are going to try, at least in the short term.
We're talking about the video game Painkiller?
Come to think of it, I need an Advil. My
Painkiller is a pretty fun video game, if I recall correctly.
Yeah. All right, your turn.
Alrighty, so you heard me gush about this when it first happened, the Magnolia Patriarch. What you didn't hear was me having had tested it for a little bit. And here's what I'm realizing. So it basically, for people who weren't there at the time, it turns the grade 4 into a grade 3. So when you ride it, you get a Sylvan Beast from drop. That's cool. It gives your guys intercept, and then if you Persona Road, he gets triple drive. And then you have to counterblast to give your guys back row attack, which was fine. The problem is there's almost too many options where you're like, how do I get the Sylvan Beasts I want for this particular situation? And I don't think it's a result of like this card being the problem. I think they designed it as well as they could. But because it didn't have the name of the old Magnolia, it means you couldn't use things like Wild Intelligence. And hell, even like that, I think his name was Endbright, where it was like it swing from the back and then it bounces or something. Like so many things were tied to the original Magnolia. And then when we moved on to the bigger guys, you had things like Forest Growth Dragon and Maliva for Dragon Tree, and then you had things like Banaspati, the call 2 things from drop if you're on grade 4, which you can still use in this, by the way. You just only call 1 thing. But it seems like this just doesn't have like any like specialty to it. You're using all of the like Sylvan Beasts that aren't tied to anything in particular, which means it's lacking some oomph, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Megumi is going to the finals, so we're going to get more Magnolia support.
I'm positive we are, and I will be there when it does. But
I say that like they've not printed Magnolia support at any point in this game.
Yeah, no, luckily for me, Magnolia has been one of the ride lines that like they've been pretty good about like leaking things too. From time to time, things like Bastion got overshadowed by like Alden and all that stuff. But like,
oh yeah, because the character that plays Bastion stopped showing up.
Exactly. But I'm still there, so that's cool. Egregious, Veleno Familia Egregious is meant to work with the Mega Colony stuff, I assume, or the Blitz Order guys.
Yeah. So if you have an insect, you can pay it with a different cost. So Energy Blast, Soul Blast 1, Energy Blast 2. But otherwise, you Counter Blast 1. Choose a card with a different name from drop, call it to Rearguard Circle if it's a normal unit, or put it into your hand if it's a Blitz Order. And then if you have an Insect, Vanguard gets 5k, and then when your Lascaria attacks, you can stand it.
Oh, good. More multi-attack for Lascaria. I think they needed it.
Yeah. So this card is like half generic, being able to just sort of call something from the drop zone. I don't know if like anything in particular like needs it enough, but like sure.
Yeah, that is cool that you can recycle Blitz Orders. I don't think that we've had something like that yet. You can recycle normal orders with stuff, but Blitz Orders don't really have as much of that infrastructure, I don't think.
Yeah. Cannot remember if my VTuber persona can recycle Blitz Orders or not.
Wait, what? I need to just take that out of context and put it on our Instagram.
No, right.
Alvina can. Alvina can choose any order.
Gotcha. Okay, never mind then. Because Raz is consistent, I guess he also shows a bad influence. All right, so Sinceriet is basically just like an energy cycler, but only for Leonoran and Magnolia, which is cool.
Yeah.
And it gives you, instead of Counterblast 1, it's Soul Blast 1 or Energy Blast 3. And then the other kicker is after you've used it, you can put this on bottom of deck and give something base 15k, or if you Persona Red, base 20k, which means hello, glow nipples, you're hitting for huge numbers. I love it. This thing is great.
Yeah.
I originally had it at kind of low numbers, but the more I tested the deck, the more I'm like, should probably up the numbers a little bit. This thing's a good card.
Mm-hmm. All right. Next
Cool.
up, New Kyrie.
Paul.
So similar to Magnolia, this is what if we took the grade 4 and made it a grade 3. So if your opponent's grade 3 or greater, all your rear guards placed this turn get 5k. On attack, choose 2 rear guards, return them to your hand, and after that, you can counterblast 1. Choose 2 cards from your hand, call it to open rear guard circle, and if your opponent's grade 3 or greater, gets drive. And then at the end of the turn, you can return one of your rear guards to your hand, or if you Persona Road, choose 2.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Literally the grade 4, but that's a grade 3. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
And like the additional bouncing at the end of the turn is really nice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like, yeah, like Kyrie was already a decently good deck. It still has tops in the current format. So the fact that you can streamline out the grade 4 package is nice. People are debating whether or not you still play the grade 4 because the grade 4 itself is still very strong, and like some of the support designed specifically for the grade 4 gives you like better numbers, but honestly, I think this is fine. The ability to Persona Ride on top of all the power gain you're getting is.
Mm-hmm.
The only unfortunate thing is it does cost a counterblast, and Kyrie does not have access to any particularly good countercharging.
Just kill them, forehead.
Yeah, exactly. I have been experimenting with like an order-based build around this deck because I think Strega is a really good card and I want to be able to use it more.
Mhm.
It's been going okay. It's a little inconsistent just because of needing to draw orders, but like, you know, that is a little personal project that I've been working on. But yeah, I really like this card. Like, I like the old style Bermuda, like bouncing cards to your hand. I never clicked with the grade 4 Kyrie. I'm thinking, you know, after trying to play a bunch of them, I just do not like cross ride decks very much.
Right.
You know, I don't really like any of the like cross ride glitters. I don't like Glory Maelstrom. You know, I didn't really like any of the grade 4 decks because so many of them are just like, all right, we have printed you a card that will immediately take up 4 slots in your deck, designed to make you ride the correct card.
Yes, and then like if you don't find the grade 4, don't find the thing, it like breaks you immediately. You're a turn behind going second already, and then that adds one more on top of it. Yeah, it was just very frustrating. I agree with Ripker's philosophy that like decks where you're like, okay, at this point I'm gonna ride this thing, and then at this point in the game I'm gonna do this, and I'm like, no. There's no like guarantee that that'll work unless the first card rides the second card by itself. Like Sacrifice Glass is a good example of this, where it gets the other thing.
Yeah,
like,
or things like Rakshasa and Nexus, where it's like, no, this is just an additional Persona ride. Like, you don't need to be running anything specific to make this work. It just does.
Yeah. But exactly, and this is why I think decks like Thagrea don't stick around for as long as they look like they will, because it's just kind of inconsistent to be like, I gotta write this, and then I gotta write this, and then I gotta do that. Like, it's... Yeah.
So yeah. I really like this card. Got the creative juices flowing.
Ooh, sexy.
Yeah. But yeah, this is one of the decks where it's like, oh, I actually want to like experiment with it.
Nice.
Angelic Echo, Luminoel. So this is Artisaria support. So on play, reveal a grade 3 Artisaria from your hand if you revealed, or you just have her on Vanguard. Call a Shadow Army token. And then when it's put on the guard circle, if you have a grade 3 or greater card with Artisaria in its name, retire one or more up to 2 Shadow Army tokens, and it gets plus 10k shield for each unit retired. This card is crazy. It does a lot for the deck. It makes your early game a lot better just being able to like call a token. So either you make like a big ass column or you just like shove it behind the Vanguard, you know, get a little bit of pressure going. And then, you know, as you get later into the game, especially because a lot of decks have removal right now, like this helps you with board building. And then it's just a big ass shield. You know, the thing Artisaria needed was just survivability. I think the deck is really good at killing people if you can make it to like turn 5 or God forbid turn 6 when you're just calling like a million Shadow Army tokens. So you just need to like get there.
Yeah, if you can get the hand for that. I know the friend you met, Rupier, my friend, his girlfriend plays this deck. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you know, I think this was a huge thing for this deck. Next up we have Resonance of Reflection, Apeliel. So when this plays, reveal a mermaid from your ride deck. If you revealed it, or you have a grade 3 or greater mermaid Vanguard, counterblast 1. Look at the top 7 cards of your deck, choose a mermaid without Sentinel, or one of this order, which gives all of your mermaids boost and can power up a mermaid. And then if you didn't reveal a card, countercharge.
Okay.
You're allowed to countercharge if you're a triple R. And then
Yes.
when your other front row unit is returned to the hand by the ability of Kyrie, you can Energy Blast 4, stand all of your rear guards in the same column. So Kyrie already had a card that did this. That was like Soul Blast for that. Here's Penelope. So
a mermaid.
this one, yeah. So this one like gets 5k if you have a Kyrie, and then same ability, but it's a Soul Blast instead of Energy Blast. And then if you have a Grade 4, it also gives your front row 5k. But like, aside from the order pile, which is what I'm experimenting with, the other thing that you can do with Kyrie right now is to just make a mermaid pile deck, because mermaids have a lot of good cards.
Babe, wake up! New Keter pile dropped.
Oh yeah. So Francette is a mermaid. Obviously you can use it to find like persona rides. She can search copies of herself because it doesn't say it has to have a different name. Obviously, if you're still playing Penelope, which I think you are, you can search that too because she is a mermaid. So yeah, and like if you have the order that gives it boost, what you do is you put this and this in the same column, so you just have a choice of what cost to make, and then you bounce your other column with Kyrie.
Right on. So that's like all the big stuff.
I'm sorry we had to skip the double R's, but we're people, so
we're just skipping the double R's.
Can we like talk about it in summation, or?
Yeah, I'll go quick. So, Looting Dragon, it's Varga support. It gets 10k power shield, bounces itself to the hand. Lethal Salt Dragon. What the fuck is that name? This is me every time I get hit with the over trigger. It's Bad Gondiva support. It says on hit on it.
I was gonna say I would just collect a bunch of these, and then every time you beat your opponent so handily, you just like slide this over the table to them and then leave.
Yeah. More Werble support. So on play from hand, energy charge 3, and you can't use the act ability of the energy generator. On boost, it gets 5k, and then if it boosted Werble Dragon, you can Soul Blast 1, stand it.
I like how randomly they'll make things that look like they're for Eugene, and then they're not. They're just like, it's Dust Storm, but it's not for him.
This is Gryandra support. It gives the deck a 5th attack. I don't think the deck is good. What the fuck is this? Blankmire support. It can't be chosen by card effects. It gets boost and it gets 5k power and shield. You have 4 or more face down cards.
Sure.
This card's fine. I think you play like 2 or 3 of them.
I love the idea of the name Crying Crows Vartax sounds like something in the back of a high schooler's notebook.
Yeah.
Like goth kid on vacation.
Yeah. Okay, Dredrewald support. So you can reveal Dredrewald from your ride deck. If you reveal or you have it, Counter Blast 1, look at top 7, grab a Demonic Stone Dragon. This can search a bunch of things, because I think there are a bunch of things with this name. Yeah, so you can get...
Rock Halgor, the new guy, they're all Demonic Stone Dragons. So yes.
Yeah. And then if you didn't put a card in your hand, Soul Charge 2 instead.
Not bad.
Unfortunately, Dredrewald does not get the counter charge if he whiffs.
Yeah, which is like, come on, guys.
Yeah. New Direful Doll card. I don't remember this being revealed. Look at top 5 for a Direful Doll. Put it into your soul. When another rearguard is bound, you can bind it. Give 2 things plus 5k. I swear this card already exists.
I think so, or something similar. There's only one guy at my locals who plays Direful Doll, and he's like, I don't bring it to tournament because it never wins, but I like it, so...
Omina Grugio support. It's bad.
Hey, sweet.
Hell yeah.
It's B.
Hero support. looks like a gold paladin, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot we had Rotovisor support. If you have 2 or more arenas, it gets 5k power and shield, and then if you don't have a rearguard with the same name, call it from the drop zone, I guess, and rest in arena. Is that is resting in arena a real cost? I don't remember how this deck works.
I can't remember either.
I couldn't tell you.
I do like these speed summaries. I get to just be snarky all day.
Pretty much. The Blitz guy, the new Welstra guy, is basically just a big fat butt, and that's good.
Okay.
Yeah. Moving on.
There's Orphis support in here?
Sure.
I think this is my favorite version of set reviews, us being like, holy shit, that's cool.
If your world is Abyssal Dark Knight or Dark Knight, search your deck for a world card, discard it, and it gets 2k. And then in the drop zone, you Energy Blast to bind it to call a Shadow Army token.
Ooh, that second effect's great.
Yeah. I mean, I think the more important thing is that they just revealed a new Grade 1 world card.
Yes, all that. Also that too.
That's promo, though. Look forward to it being ungodly expensive for no reason.
Fuck that.
Solarion support. This gives you a 5th attack. So in case you didn't want to play the Mask deck.
Okay.
Armor Breaking Knight Door. Oh, right. This is Youthberg support. You're not playing it. New Hound Raiser. So when your High Beast attacks from the back row center column, if you have a grade 3 or greater Hound Raiser, it gets 5k. And then if your opponent's grade 3 or greater, you can give another thing 5k. Sure. At the end of the battle, it was boosted by a High Beast. Retire it. Choose one of your other things, and it can't be chosen or retired by card effects. This deck has a problem maintaining its front row units because you have a really easy time finding High Beasts and not an easy time finding Hound Raisers. So this is basically just trading this one to be able to protect the other one. There's Hex support. There's Sorcerer support in this set too. Plus 5,000, and then you can call from the drop zone. Drop. You can call it if you place a Sorceress, and then look at the top card of your deck, put it on top of the deck or into your soul. If you put it into soul, it gets 5k. Cool. I don't think that this card is really neat. I don't think it fixes Sorceress.
Okay. Meldiaza?
Yeah. This card's
Meldiaza.
crazy. So if your drop has 7 or more cards, it gets 5k, and then at the end of the battle attacks, you can retire it, look at top 3, mill anything, and then if you discarded 2 or less, shuffle.
Yep. So imagine if like Light Sworns. Yeah, imagine if Light Sworns were like select what you mill.
Yeah. This card seems crazy. I don't know where the home is, but I'm sure it has one eventually.
My first thought is Zorga, but I don't think so.
Yeah. Right.
There's Flagboard.
Are Zorga players still going at it?
A little bit, yeah.
There's always a Zorga player somewhere who's trying to make it work.
Terrible.
No, I promise you, Zorga is an unbeatable matchup for Buff Saga.
I don't think anyone is deluding themselves that they can beat Bob right now, right?
I gotta take care of something real quick, but I will say that when you get to the Sylvanhorn Beast, it's really, really good in the deck. Okay, I'll be right back.
Okay. So, on play, if you have a grade 3 or greater Flagberg, choose a Tear Dragon from your drop zone, call it to rearguard circle, and then if you have a Flagberg, it gets boost. This is actually pretty good, more recursion for a deck that needs bodies. Like Atlas said, this card is really good. It stops your opponent from intercepting, and then you can put it into soul, draw a card. You have another Inlet Pulse. The deck has like 2 Inlet Pulses already, and you can also run actual Inlet Pulse if you're really coping that hard.
Probably should not, but yeah.
Yeah. New Argo Siren support. When your Tear Dragon or Mermaid stands, if you have a grade 3 or greater Argo Siren, bottom deck it, draw a card, choose a unit, gets fire plus 5,000. Not bad.
It seems fine.
More Argo Siren names is nice. What the fuck was this again? When your unit is returned to your hand by your grade 3 or greater Vanguard's ability, put a grade 2 or less card from hand to soul, draw a card. This unit gets power plus 10,000. Sure.
I guess have to see the unit go to your hand?
Yeah. Because it's on attack. No, I don't think it does. It's on attack if your unit was returned.
Oh, it's on attack. I see. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry, I was like, I thought it said when your rear guard is returned to hand.
Yeah. So when this unit attacks, if your unit was returned to hand by the grade 3 or greater Vanguard, you can cycle a card from your hand and it gets 10k. That's not bad.
That's fine.
Yeah. Demonic Teaser, Wilsha. So, if you have a Vanguard with Dress Up, it gets plus 5k. At the end of the battle attacks, retire it, look at top 7, choose a Dress Up, put it into your hand, shuffle your deck. Sure. Okay. I mean, the problem is all the Dress Ups do so many drastically different things, I don't even know how many of them can actually afford to run this.
Okay.
Welcome back, we're almost done.
Alright, cool.
What the fuck is this? Back row rearguard circle. When your grade 3 or greater unit attacks from the back row center column, all of your units in the center column get plus 5k until end of turn. And at the end of the battle, boosted. If you are grade 3 or greater units attack a total 2 more times this turn, Energy Blast 2, put it on the bottom deck. Choose a grade 3 card The different name for your Vanguard from drop, put it into your hand. I don't know what this is supposed to be supporting.
Wait. What has a grade 3 behind Vanguard that attacks?
I think Kyoka can do it. I don't know what else does it.
Okay.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I actually don't remember what the fuck this is supposed to be supporting right now.
Me either.
Who knows? Who cares?
I mean, I'm sure that one of these decks does that, but there's like 20 of them.
Somebody in the comment section. It's this thing that I like.
I know Kyoka can do it. Hazoret could do it if you're coping that hard, but I don't think Hazoret wants to be running
All
a
I'm
grade
saying
3 in
is
the
like
back row.
20 decks in Lyrical.
Yeah.
I
And
can't
then
get-
finally, we have Flam and Glam support, so they have a drummer now. So when this unit boosts, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Flam and Glam, gets 5k until end of battle. Your Vanguard's grade 3 or greater, discard a card from hand, retire it, choose one of your unit's Vanguards, and increase or decrease this drive to 2.
Cool. That's nice.
Cool. So you get 4 drive checks now.
Nice.
Okay.
And that's all the double R's. I don't think there
All
was anything worth talking about in the lower rarities.
Okay. So
Yeah. Winner, loser, set.
Oh, that's hard to say. A lot of things that came out good. Funny enough, I don't think Blankmeyer's status in the meta changes. I think the deck functions exactly the same as it did before. Loser, I'm gonna say the loser is fucking Vice Ruger. Like that deck sucks.
Yeah.
I think the Kyrie stuff's pretty.
New Kyrie
doesn't
seems
change
insane.
anything. Does it?
I don't know.
It seems.
Okay.
Is it doing anything substantially different?
Yeah, no, sorry. Like, yeah, it's not really doing anything like crazy different. It's just like I like being able to play a version of this deck that's not the grade 4.
Oh, I see. I like the grade 4. I like the art on it.
Yeah. But yeah, Kyrie seems fine. I mean, I think Artisaria goes from being playable to actually good now. That's
Sweet.
something.
Yeah, the Shadow Armor, calling Shadow Armor tokens seems quite good.
Yeah.
And being able to use them for free shield.
Like,
Well,
I mean,
not-
exists as a stupid card, and I wish it didn't exist. Haha.
stop.
Yeah, I think Dragon Empire stuff isn't really impactful. I think Stoicheia, well, like yay for Magnolia or whatever, I don't think it really like does much meta wise.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think Magnolia is unfortunately not going anywhere.
Nope, not for now at least. But I'll still play it, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Um,
No, I think like Youth Perk is probably the easy one, just because like
yeah.
Exist is kind of crazy, and
Yeah.
like being able to revolve form from the drop zone gives the deck flexibility if they make more of them.
Yes.
So yeah, that was it
All
for
right.
the set review.
Cool. Thanks everybody for watching and listening. Patreon.com/Nexus at Night helps the show out. It's like a cup of coffee a month, not even a week. So that's pretty cool. Follow us on social media at Nexus at Night, Blue Sky, Instagram, all that good stuff. Follow me at Atlas Novak, wherever fine social medias are found, or my other podcast, Generation Dan. How about you guys?
Find me at Wiggums this way. On Hell or Blue Sky.
Yeah.
Find me
I'm
at
starting to
Plasma.
use Hell less and less because it's that website is not functional.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
hell is becoming slowly more and more unusable. You can find me at Plasma Eclipse or Beerus Rudicus, depending on the platform.
Cool.
Reasonable.
So thanks everybody for watching, and until next time, I was Atlas,
I'm still Matt.
I'm Root Beer.
and have a good night, everybody.